Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, At Home with Willowberry. Or if you're new, welcome. But where have you been? I'm so happy to see you here. My name is Valerie, and in today's video, it was a beautiful spring day here in the Blue Ridge Mountains, so we decided to go shopping for fruit trees. We burned some brush, and we start planting an orchard. We're growing our homestead, y'all, so if you'd like to see what we've been up to, then I hope you'll stick around and enjoy the video. How are you all doing today? I sure hope you're enjoying a beautiful day wherever you are in this great big world. We're doing wonderful. It's turning out to be a beautiful spring here in the Virginia mountains, so we decided it would be a great time to go shopping for fruit trees. We went to Lowe's and found some peach and plum trees, so we picked up 3 of each. They were all out of apple trees, so we plan to go to another Lowe's in a few days, but we want to get the peach and plum trees planted first, which we plan to do first thing tomorrow morning. Tonight we are burning the sticks that we raked up down in the field where we plan to locate our new chicken coop. We're taking advantage of this beautiful spring weather to get outdoors and grow our homestead. It's a lot of hard work, but we're enjoying every minute of it. Alright y'all, it's bright and early the next morning and we're getting prepared to plant our new fruit trees. We're preparing the soil that Tim will use in the holes when we plant the peach and plum trees. Tim is going to mix together some potting soil for trees and shrubs, some peat moss, and also some cow manure mixed with compost. Once he gets the soil prepared, we'll load up the peach trees and then head on down to the field where we plan to grow our new orchard. I tell you what, fall is my favorite season, but I'm beginning to love spring more and more, especially after the bitterly cold winter that we had this year. According to Google, spring is special because it marks a time of renewal and growth in nature, with warmer weather, longer days, and the blossoming of flowers and trees after the cold winter months. Spring is often seen as a time of rebirth, as the natural world starts to wake up. The warmer weather and longer days allows us to be able to spend more time outdoors, and spring is known for the blossoming of flowers and trees, which adds vibrant color to the landscape. Spring is also a season of new life, with many animals having their babies, such as rabbits, deer, and little baby birds. Spring is becoming more and more special to me, that's for sure. Well, here we are down in the field where we plan to plant our new fruit trees. It's a big open field with plenty of sunlight to grow an orchard. Tim will be using the rental tractor to dig the holes for our new trees. This rental tractor has really come in handy. Tim has been using it to dig up small tree stumps. He cleared and leveled the area for our new chicken coop, and now he's using it to dig the holes for our fruit trees. We've rented the tractor for a whole month, and Tim is trying to get his money's worth. Soon he'll have gravel delivered so that we can fix the driveway, and he also plans to use it to move a ton of mulch down to the garden. I tell you what, it's truly a blessing to finally see our dreams come true by growing our homestead. This spring it's chickens and an orchard, and soon we plan to add some honeybees, and we still need to plant our berry bushes. And I'm hoping by this time next year we'll be able to add a few goats to the homestead. Growing a homestead is a lot of hard work, but we're loving every minute of it. This is so exciting, y'all. We're almost ready to plant our first fruit tree. It's a peach tree. Tim will be mixing the soil that he prepared with the red dirt that he dug up. Once he gets the hole halfway filled up, then he'll be ready to plant the first of 3 peach trees. here I am at the watershed. It's a shed we built last spring. I call it a watershed because we added gutters to the shed in order to collect water in these two large IBC storage totes. We use this water to water the garden, and now we'll be able to use it to water our fruit trees. Alright y'all, well let's get this water down to the tree that Tim just planted. We just about ran out of dirt on the first fruit tree, so here we are back at the house to prepare some more soil. It turns out we didn't buy enough soil to plant all 6 trees, so we'll have to go back to the store to purchase more before we can plant the plum trees. But that's okay, we'll get there soon enough, and before we know it, we'll have a nice little orchard to grow so much fruit that we won't know what to do with it all. How did you enjoy that ride past the barn and through our future goat pasture? I hope to one day fill that pasture with goats and at least 1 or 2 donkeys. It has always been a dream of mine to raise farm animals, and here I am at 52 years old finally seeing my dreams come true. Alright y'all, well now we're ready to plant the second peach tree. We're going to dig the hole, fill it with the soil that Tim prepared, and then we'll be ready to get the second peach tree planted into the ground. It was recommended to buy a variety of peach trees to promote better pollination, so we bought 2 contender peach trees and 1 Alberta peach tree. We had planned to alternate the trees, but we accidentally planted both contenders side by side, so Tim had to dig one of the contenders up and replace it with the Alberta peach tree, so that's what he's going to do now. We want to make sure to water our new fruit trees thoroughly, and then we'll need to keep the roots hydrated, so we plan to cover the base of the tree with mulch. We have plenty of mulch on hand for all of our homestead projects because we had several dead trees cut down and they were turned into mulch. So as soon as we finish planting these 2 trees, we'll head up to the mulch pile. Our first 3 fruit trees are planted in the ground, so now it's time to load up the mulch that we'll use to go around the base of the fruit trees to help keep the roots hydrated. Tim is going to load up the little orange wagon, and then he'll get a bucket full of mulch with the tractor, and then we'll head back down to our new orchard to spread the mulch around the trees. Tim is measuring the distance for the next row of trees to plant. We'll be planting plum trees next, but that will have to wait for another day. We've just about run out of time for today. There's just enough time for me to finish spreading the mulch around the peach trees and for Tim to dig the next set of holes for the plum trees. Then we'll have to call it a day. I tell you what, there's just so much to do and so little time during the day to get it all done. But we're getting there, one day at a time. Well, y'all, we've accomplished all we can for today. It's time to go get the boys from school and to get dinner on the table. So I guess that's about it for this video. I feel very happy with what we got done today, but we still have a lot left to do, such as adding fencing around the newly planted peach trees to protect them from the deer. A friend of ours said they planted 6 apple trees last year and the deer ate them all. Man, I'd be so sad if that happens to us. Well, y'all, it's time to say goodbye for now, but I'll be back with a new video before you know it. Alright, well, y'all have a great week, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye, y'all.